Hello, it's Judith here, and continuing with our Christmas theme, dealing with the more difficult aspects of Christmas rather than the nice stuff, the decorations and the food and all the rest of it. And I hope you have all of those things in the way and the quantity that you want. But for many of us, there are difficulties. So today, last week it was about time, which there's never enough of. And this week it is about money, which there's also never enough of. And we get into habits of who buys presents for whom and how much people spend and things like that. And they may be fine at the time, but kids get older, money gets tighter, everything gets more expensive. I think we can all agree about that one. So how do you get out of a cycle of repetition? I had a conversation with a member of my family, and we all tend now to ask what the adults ask one another what they want for Christmas. And we all go, I don't know what I want for Christmas. This is silly. This is absolutely silly. We're all stressing out about what we're asking for, and the other person's stressing about buying it and wrapping it and all the rest of it. And why are we doing this? This is a first world problem, absolutely top of the list first world problem. But it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Environmentally, money-wise, time-wise, it's silly to keep on doing things like that. So what can we do? Now, if, as I'm sure it is for many of us, money is an issue, then set a budget. We'll talk about breaking the habitual stuff, because that's what often causes us to get into debt, and then we spend the rest of the year trying to recover from Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's Christmas again. So set a budget. How much can you afford to spend? And stick to it. And firstly, decide how you're going to allocate it. So for instance, it would make sense to buy for younger children, and maybe not for older ones, and certainly not for adults, if your budget is limited. And if it's really, really limited, maybe even just buying for your children will be an issue. And that's hard, because for young children, those that still believe in Father Christmas, we want them to have what they want. And of course, they have access to all sorts of information about what's available, and they will ask for it. And of course, it's not a problem because Father Christmas is going to bring it. So that's the hardest bit of all, I think. So maybe just focus all your attention on the young children who still believe in Father Christmas. Have a discussion with the older children, maybe. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the right word. Maybe suggest that, you can't afford to buy presents for everybody all at once, so they'll get something later, or they'll get a bigger birthday present or something like that. Negotiate with them. But older children need to understand that money isn't infinite. They're going to have to battle with it themselves before very long, and it's a good lesson for them to learn, and certainly if they've got younger brothers and sisters, focus on those, and they'll have, a double birthday present so that you can spread the costs out over the year, or maybe they will agree to nothing. Depends on the family dynamics and. But I think the big message of this is don't get into debt. Please don't get into debt just for Christmas, because it's very, very easy to do it. So there's going to be some interesting conversations you need to have with older children, and also some thoughts about how you're going to limit the number of presents you buy or the amount you spend. And it is okay to go and have a conversation with other family members, just as we did, about what you can and can't afford. And it can be difficult because often within families, different families are their financial assets are different. So what's absolutely fine for one family is absolutely impossible for another one. And it's hard to admit that, but it's much better to do that than, as I say, to get yourself into debt. So go and have some hard conversations. And you may be surprised if you go and say, well, let's stop buying adult Christmas presents, for instance, or let's limit the number or the amount we spend on children. And you may well get some relief rather than, oh, for goodness sake, what's the matter with you? Why can't you afford to do what we always do? You're more likely to get relief, I think. And even if you don't get relief, and even if you get a negative response, be honest. Be honest and say, look, the situation is, we have a choice. We do this or we get into debt, and we're not wanting to go down that road. And maybe there's a good reason. Maybe there isn't. It's just that, what you earn isn't enough given the costs of everything having gone up so much. Or maybe you'd rather spend it on holidays and making memories, whatever. You have the right to choose what you do with your money. So don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel that you have to stick to what normally happens. Stand up, be a bit brave, and tell people what you're going to do. If you don't think there's a possibility of a reasonable conversation, just say, well, this is what's happening this year, and that's the best thing for us as a family. So budget, allocate that budget, cut people off the list or reduce the amount that you're spending. Focus on the young ones, because quite honestly, that's the joy of Christmas, isn't it? Those faces where they really believe that Father Christmas has brought them all these lovely things. As kids get older and as we become adult, it is much more of a commercial exchange. And if you stand back and think about it, it's I would, and I think a lot of people would say, I would rather have something small that's been thoughtfully chosen by somebody who knows me and knows what I would like, or has been made, rather than, just went on Amazon and clicked a button because that's what's been asked for. Because, that's not Christmas really, is it? That Christmas is all about love and giving in a truly heartfelt way, as opposed to a head bank account way, if that makes any sense at all. So you may have to be really brave. You may have to have some hard discussions. If you want any help with those hard discussions, I'm very happy to talk it through and see if I can help you. But do what's best for you. Do what's best for your family. And if other people get upset about it, then that's their problem, not yours. And I hope, really, really hope that most of the people you have those discussions with will understand. And as I say, for older kids, it's a lesson that they're going to have to learn at some point. So, it's a good time to start them actually understanding the reality of life. It's not what we want to do. We want to be able to just go out and buy whatever we want for whoever we want. But life is never like that, isn't it? Unless it probably isn't if you're in the millionaire category, because the expectations go up, don't they? As you get more money, the expectations go up. Oh my goodness, good gracious me, that's not the best Ferrari that you could have bought me. There is a much more expensive one. I'm very disappointed. Yeah, those are definitely first world problems. So be sensible. Do what you can, and yeah, do what's right for you and what's right for your family. Okay, I hope that's helped. And as I say, I'm always around to have a chat with. I'll get the Calendly link put underneath, and you don't even have to get in touch with me. You can just book a session and then we'll chat over what you want. And I wanted to do this one early enough so that, you know, you've got time to have those conversations, or at least do your planning and not be so easy to get carried away, particularly if you've left it at the last minute. You just go in and buy everything on the credit card and think, I'll sort that out in January. And then, unfortunately, January always comes along, doesn't it? Okay, you take care. Think about having a happy Christmas, not an expensive Christmas. Have a Christmas you can afford and enjoy without the burden of what's going to happen when the credit card bills come in. Okay, and I will see you next time, and we will continue with more difficult aspects of Christmas. And until then, as I say, take care. Bye.